Hello, hello. Welcome back to Finding Spirit with Tabs. I'm your host, Tabs McCaffrey, and I'm a psychic medium here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. On this show, I share my own personal journey through my mediumship, through Akashic records, channeling, spirit guides, and now past life regressions. I like to think of myself as a grounded and practical psychic medium. And I hope through these episodes, I show you grounded and practical approach to spirituality. I hope these episodes resonate with you and they meet you wherever you are on this journey. All right. Are you guys ready for today's episode? I'm really excited to talk about this. It's been sitting on my mind for a while. This was a past life regression that happened a few months ago, and it was very impactful, I will say, on the viewpoint that I had within past lives, past experiences, soul experiences, all that. So today's episode title was When Past Lives Aren't Yours. And I know it seems crazy and you're like, how is this even possible? I promise I'm going to break it all down and share the story with you. It is a little bit of a mind bending episode, and I'm going to ask you to remain just open, take what resonates, leave whatever doesn't. Be open to this information. It may make sense within your own life. I want you to think of this. Have you ever had a dream, a vision, a flashback of a memory that felt like it was yours or something that you have experienced before, but you can't quite fit it in? Sometimes this can feel like a deja vu feeling, or what I want to introduce is perhaps a past life memory. What if I told you that sometimes those memories aren't actually yours? They're not actually your past lives. This regression session that I had absolutely shifted the way I view all of this. It's changed me at a core level. It's changed how I view past lives. And today I'm going to explain two ways that these memories can show up and hopefully give you some practical tools so that you can tell the difference when it happens to you. All right, I'm going to kind of set the scene for this regression. The client came to me saying that she was having reoccurring dreams, visions, things that she believed were past lives of her own. They were very vivid, they were detailed, and it was like a knowing that she had, and they kept showing up over and over. And naturally, she wanted some clarity on this. She wanted to figure it out like, are these my past lives? Can we learn more about it? And that's where past life regressions are phenomenal. I need to say that phenomenal for giving that experience. So we did a regression together. And when we reached the part where we connect with her subconscious or higher self, I asked the higher self about these lifetimes. Now, the answer was wild. The answer shook me to my core because I was not expecting this level of knowledge and wisdom to come through. Her higher self said, these aren't past lives of you. And we're going to use my name for the example. These past lives of you, Tabs, is one life of your soul. So our soul is having these lifetime experiences. And oftentimes we think of these past lives as past lives of us as this single lifetime. But the lifetime we have right now is a singular lifetime of our soul. So there could be a Tabs, there could be a Sarah, there could be a John, there could be a Gabriel. Do you get what I'm saying? And all of them are their own individual lifetimes of the soul experience. And I always I feel like I do this. I don't know where this came from, but that's how it pops up for me. Now, in other words, the lifetime that she was remembering, they weren't necessarily tied to her current soul's journeys as she had thought they were. And then the higher self bent my mind just a little bit more and explained that sometimes what we remember aren't even lifetimes of our own soul at all. They can be energetic memories of someone else's life that are placed within us almost like storage. We hold it, we feel it, we dream it, but it actually doesn't belong to our soul. I'm sure you can imagine my face in that moment. I was like, whoa. This is crazy. And it starts to change the way we look at, I think, timelines, sequential lifetimes, you know, memories from past lives. It really just starts to change the way you view things. I want to break this theory down a little bit further. Obviously, I had to do some research into this. The first and most familiar theory is what we usually mean when we say past lives. Our soul or our oversoul lives many human experiences, and these lives are connected and sometimes fragments surfaced through regression, meditation, or dreams, right? So they can come through in these states when we're highly relaxed and receptive to, again, those fragments coming through. And this idea lines up with the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records, often described as a library of every lifetime, every soul, every thought. When we pull all of these threads together, we're essentially reading a chapter of our own soul's books. Now, these kinds of memories tend to feel very personal. They can carry an emotional resonance, you could say. And when you revisit them, you feel the grief, the joy, the trauma, and it's like woven into your cellular makeup. I know this is like getting deep, guys. We're getting deep on this episode. That is one aspect of explaining souls and lifetimes. The other theory is the soul storage memories. And this is the part that really blew me away when I went a little bit deeper into it. So the higher self explained that sometimes these aren't our chapters at all, right? They're not the chapters in our book. They can be lifetimes belonging to different souls, but the energy almost feels like, I'm going to use a modern term, like a memory chip that gets placed within us. And think of it like holding someone else's diary for safekeeping. You can read the words, you might even feel their emotions, but that story isn't yours. And this isn't actually a brand new concept. In shamanic traditions, there's talk about soul fragments, pieces of energy being shared, lost, or retrieved. Some healers also speak about carrying ancestral or collective memories. Carl Jung even wrote about the collective unconsciousness, the idea that symbols and stories can live within all of us. So, when a person has a vision of a life that feels strangely vivid but doesn't quite fit, it may be because they're holding on to an imprint or an energy memory that's not of their incarnation. Whew. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. So, why does this matter? Why does this distinction matter to us? Because how we work with memory changes depending on what it is. If it's a personal past life, there's usually a lesson or a healing your soul is carrying forward, right? There's a purpose and a lesson. And we talk about that, or we go through that within past life regressions. Every past life has a purpose and a lesson for you. What was the purpose and the lesson from that? Is it yours to integrate? Right? Was it part of your own soul's journey? But if it's just an imprint, the purpose might be just to hold space or to remember a lesson for the collective or to help support others. It's not always about healing your karma. Sometimes it is about carrying the wisdom for humanity. And yeah, there's a lot of depth in this topic and this discussion today. Let's go into some practical tools. How do you tell the difference, right? How do we tell the difference between what is actually ours and what is possible imprints or memories that may be stored within us? Here's a few ways. I got four tips that you can use to try and discern between them. Number one, journal prompts. Ask, does this memory feel like it's mine or like I'm watching someone else's movie? Write down both the imagery and the feelings. Ownership is usually clear in the emotional body of it. Okay. Usually you can define it there. Another way is to do a body check. If it's a personal lifetime, your body reacts strongly. Tears, goosebumps, heaviness. If it's an imprint, you may feel more detached, kind of like you're observing, like you're watching a movie. You don't feel that emotional connection per se. The third one is ask your higher self in regression or meditation. I find that past life regressions are very beneficial to these past life memories that we carry, and they're a very good space, I think, for us to ask and receive clear guidance or information, answers, I guess, that we're looking for within these lifetimes that come up. And we can just literally ask that, is this a lifetime of yours? What do we need to know about it? And they will tell us if it's one that you have experienced as a soul journey or if it's one that you are holding for the collective. And then the last one is integration. If it's yours, lean into healing and the closure work. If it's not yours, practice that energetic release. You can say, thank you for the wisdom. I release what is not mine to carry and just let it go. All right, one last thing that I want to talk about with this topic. Let's do a quick kind of clearing. So, if you are in a space where you can relax, close your eyes, breathe deeply, let's do that together. Higher self, show me if this memory is mine or an imprint that I am holding. If it is mine, show me a symbol for integration. If it is not mine, show me a symbol for release. And whatever resonates with you, trust what comes through. Trust the first image that comes to you and use that guidance to move forward. And so it is. I love that. So here's the big takeaway that I want you to leave this episode with. Not all past life memories belong to us. Some are our souls, some are stored imprints, and all of them hold meaning. The way we work with them depends on what they are. If you've ever had a dream, a vision, or wondered, was that really me? Is that a life of mine? These questions are part of some deep soul work that you can do. And it's okay to hold the mystery as well without needing to know every answer. If this episode resonated with you and you feel like there may be some lifetimes that you want to explore, I want to recommend a past life regression quantum healing session. Through that, we can ask all of these questions and get to the bottom of the curiosities, the lifetimes that you have experienced. I find that past life regressions through hypnotherapy is probably the best avenue to explore these. And the fun part is that all of the responses, all of the answers, all of the wisdom comes from your subconscious and your higher self. And that's the magic part, I think, of the session. All right. Well, I'm going to leave this mind bending information with you to process at the rate that you need to process it, integrate what works, leave behind what doesn't. If this doesn't quite fit into your belief system yet, that's okay. That's okay. We are all at different points in our journey with our belief systems slowly building back. And I just want to say where I am today and what my beliefs are, and I've said this before, are not where I was at the beginning of the journey. And I think discernment is healthy. I think that we need to process and understand things at the rate that our journey allows without just being open to every idea out there. Wherever you are, I support you. All right. Well, I am going to head out of here. If you enjoyed this episode and you enjoy these topics, make sure to let me know, give it a like, or drop down in the comments and let me know that you want more of this. If there's any ideas that you guys want me to discuss, I mean, I do have my own list of things to talk about, but if there's certain topics that you are curious about or that you would like to know more about in mediumship, spirit guides, Akashic records, past life regressions, please feel free to drop them down below in a suggestion, and I will do my best to include them in a future episode. All right, guys. Well, don't forget to follow. I have to say that. Actually, I just looked at the data and only like 35% of you are subscribed to the channel. Please do so. If you haven't, it helps my podcast grow, helps me reach more people, just helps get the word out there. But yeah, on that note, thank you for walking this path with me in finding spirit, and I will see you next week. Bye.